Have you ever reflected on how in the landscape of our lives, sinister shadows can disguise themselves as friends, colleagues, and even family members? Statistics reveal that many people, without realizing it, are surrounded by dangerous individuals who hide their harmful intentions behind fake smiles. In this special video, we will reveal the 15 telltale signs that can alert us to the presence of potentially dangerous individuals in our surroundings. Before we dive in, let's make sure this wisdom reaches as many people as possible. Click the like button and activate the notification bell. This lets YouTube know that you find value in what we share. Now, let's start this transformative journey together. Are you ready? First, manipulation. Imagine being trapped in a web of deceit where every move is orchestrated by invisible hands with one purpose: to control you. This is what happens when you encounter a dangerous person who is a master manipulator. Manipulation is like an invisible chain that traps us, forcing you into submission. It may start subtly, with sweet words and flattery, but soon it transforms into a complex web of lies and schemes. It seems as though this person possesses the power to distort reality around them to satisfy their own objectives. It's crucial to understand that manipulation goes beyond simply being an annoying behavior. It's a clear sign that you are dealing with someone dangerous. Manipulative people often hide hidden agendas and do not hesitate to employ deceptive tactics to achieve their goals, even if that means causing harm to you or others around you. Therefore, pay attention to this first sign. Constant manipulation is like a red, blinking beacon that alerts you to the presence of someone who may represent a threat to your emotional and physical safety. As Marcus Aurelius reminds us, self-discipline and self-awareness are virtues that help us resist manipulation and remain firm in our convictions. 2. Lack of empathy. Empathy acts as the glue that holds human relationships together, allowing us to put ourselves in the other person's shoes, feel what they feel, and create a warm and genuine light in our interactions. However, when that light fades, when empathy is absent, we are faced with a clear and urgent warning sign. The lack of empathy resembles an emotional black hole that absorbs a person's ability to care about the feelings of others. It's as if they are immune to the suffering of others, as if they have lost their connection to humanity. This lack of empathy can manifest in various ways, from indifference to the pain of others to a complete disregard for the feelings of others. It's essential to understand that a lack of empathy is not just a personality trait, but also a warning sign that indicates the presence of a potentially dangerous person. After all, someone who shows no interest in your emotions will not hesitate to take harmful actions. They may use their lack of empathy to manipulate, hurt, or exploit both you and those around you. Therefore, it is vital to pay attention to this second sign. The lack of empathy acts as a blaring siren that alerts you to the presence of someone who not only lacks sensitivity to your feelings, but could also pose a threat to your emotional and physical well-being. Remember, empathy is the element that sustains healthy relationships, and its absence is a sign of danger. Be prepared to detect it and protect yourself from potentially dangerous people. 3. Excessive control. Control, that powerful force capable of shaping and manipulating our lives, presents itself as the third sign we must not underestimate. It is like an invisible web that weaves itself stealthily into our lives, often subtly and imperceptibly. Controlling behavior can manifest in various ways, from imposing rigid rules to attempting to dictate your choices and decisions. Initially, it may seem like an act of care, but over time, it becomes an emotional prison. These individuals often crave power over you, desiring to dominate every aspect of your life. The danger lies in the insidious nature of this control, as victims often don't realize they're being manipulated until it's too late. It's like being trapped in a maze with no exit, where every step is monitored and controlled by another person. This situation can lead to the loss of your autonomy and identity, and represents a clear threat to your emotional and physical well-being. Therefore, pay attention to this third sign. Controlling behavior is like a silent siren that warns you of someone seeking to manipulate and dominate you. Be ready to identify these patterns of control and protect yourself from dangerous people. As Epictetus reminds us, freedom and autonomy are invaluable treasures that no one should take away from us. Fourth, tendency to violence. The tendency to violence is the fourth sign that cannot be overlooked when it comes to identifying a dangerous person. It is like a storm about to erupt, an explosion of destructive emotions that can manifest in various ways. Violence is not limited to physical aggression. It can also take on more insidious forms, such as verbal violence, which uses sharp words to wound deeply, or psychological violence, which undermines your self-esteem and confidence. Identifying this tendency to violence is crucial, as it is a clear sign that you're dealing with someone dangerous. People who resort to violence can pose a threat to your emotional and physical well-being. Do not underestimate the severity of this sign, as violence leaves scars that can last a lifetime. Therefore, pay attention to this fourth sign. It is like a red alert, a blaring siren indicating imminent danger. Be prepared to identify any form of violence and protect yourself from dangerous individuals. As Marcus Aurelius said, your safety and well-being are absolute priorities, and no one should be allowed to inflict pain in your life. 5. Constant lies. Lies, like small cracks in a solid wall of trust, are the fifth sign that cannot be overlooked when identifying a dangerous person. They are like webs skillfully woven to hide the truth and keep you in a constant state of confusion. Lies erode trust, turning it into distrust. As Seneca affirmed, honesty is an essential virtue that upholds the foundation of solid and healthy relationships. When someone lies frequently, it is as if they are undermining the foundations of any healthy relationship. Lies can take many forms, from small distortions of the truth to elaborate stories created to cover up reality. As Seneca teaches us, honesty is a fundamental virtue that sustains the foundation of strong and healthy relationships. It is important to realize that lies not only damage trust, but are often used by dangerous people to hide their true intentions. They may lie to manipulate, conceal harmful behavior, or exploit you in some way. Therefore, be alert to this fifth sign. Frequent lies are like red flashing beacons, warning you of the presence of someone who might be undermining your trust and harming your emotional and physical security. Be prepared to identify lies and protect yourself from dangerous individuals. As Epictetus reminded us, freedom and autonomy are invaluable treasures that no one should take from you. Sixth, absence of healthy boundaries. Imagine an ocean without borders where the waves have no limits to move forward. This may seem like an attractive vision of freedom, but when it comes to relationships, the absence of healthy boundaries is a critical sixth sign for identifying a dangerous person. Healthy boundaries are like fences that protect your emotional and physical space, essential for maintaining balanced and secure relationships. When someone doesn't respect or establish healthy boundaries, it's as if those fences have been torn down, leaving you vulnerable to invasions and abuses. The absence of healthy boundaries can manifest in various ways, from invading your personal space to disrespecting your feelings and needs. As Epictetus teaches us, the lack of boundaries can lead to toxic and abusive relationships. Dangerous individuals often take advantage of the absence of boundaries to manipulate and control you. Therefore, be alert to this sixth sign. The absence of healthy boundaries is like a red flag, indicating that you might be dealing with someone who does not respect your boundaries and seeks to invade your space. Be prepared to identify this lack of boundaries and protect yourself from dangerous people. 7. History of problematic relationships. Imagine looking into someone's past and seeing a trail of problematic and tumultuous relationships. This is like a blaring siren, a seventh sign that cannot be ignored when identifying a dangerous person in your life. A history of problematic relationships is like a mirror reflecting someone's pattern of behavior. As Marcus Aurelius reminds us, our past can be indicative of our future. If this person has had a series of turbulent relationships filled with conflicts, abuse, or explosive breakups, it may be indicative of deeper issues. Healthy relationships should be based on respect, empathy, and effective communication. When someone has a history of problematic relationships, it's as if these fundamental pillars are absent. It may be a sign that this person struggles to maintain healthy relationships and is prone to repeating harmful patterns. Therefore, be alert to this seventh sign. A history of problematic relationships is like a beacon illuminating the path, warning of potential problems. Be prepared to recognize this signal and protect yourself from dangerous individuals. As Seneca taught us, the quality of your relationships directly reflects your emotional and physical safety. 8. Exaggerated reactions. Imagine being in a relationship with someone who explodes in exaggerated reactions whenever they are criticized or opposed. This is like turning on a red warning light, the eighth sign that cannot be underestimated when identifying a dangerous person in your life. Exaggerated reactions to criticism are like emotional earthquakes, where small critiques transform into disasters. These outbursts can range from fits of rage to manipulative and retaliatory behavior. The root of this lies in the inability to accept criticism in a healthy and constructive way, revealing deep insecurities and a lack of self-esteem. Dangerous people often see any criticism as a threat to their identity and respond disproportionately. As Epictetus stated, the ability to accept criticism maturely is a sign of emotional maturity and self-awareness. When someone cannot handle criticism, it's as if they are trapped in a cycle of constant denial and defense. Therefore, be alert to this eighth sign. Exaggerated reactions to criticism are like a loud alarm signaling deep problems. Be prepared to recognize these reactions and protect yourself from dangerous individuals. Remember, healthy relationships are built on open communication and the ability to accept criticism constructively. 9. Lack of authenticity. A lack of authenticity is a crucial sign we must not overlook when identifying a potentially dangerous person. When someone constantly displays a false personality or pretends to be someone they are not, it can be difficult to trust that person. Authenticity is fundamental in human relationships, as it establishes a solid foundation of trust and genuine connection. This sign is like a beacon that highlights the lack of sincerity in the relationship. A lack of authenticity can manifest in various ways, such as hypocrisy, falseness, or emotional manipulation. When someone doesn't show their true self, it can be hard to know their real intentions and to feel that the relationship is authentic. Stoicism teaches us to value honesty and authenticity as important virtues in life. Epictetus, one of the Stoic philosophers, stated, "First, promise yourself that you will not be a hypocrite, that you will be honest with yourself and with others." Maintaining authenticity is not only a sign of integrity, but also a path to inner peace, as it avoids the tension and internal conflict that comes from living a false life. In our interactions with others, let us remember the value of authenticity and the importance of recognizing its absence as a sign that helps us protect our peace and well-being. 10. Constant isolation. Constant isolation is a concerning sign when it comes to identifying a potentially dangerous person. This tendency refers to the action of avoiding or restricting connections with friends and family, whether by preventing someone from maintaining social relationships or isolating themselves from their surroundings. When someone exerts control over your relationships and isolates you from your loved ones, it can be an indication of emotional or manipulative problems. Constant isolation can have harmful effects on your life. It can lead to emotional dependency, where you become increasingly reliant on the person promoting the isolation. It can also result in the loss of an important support system, which can negatively affect your emotional and physical well-being. From a Stoic perspective, isolation can be seen as a denial of human interdependence. The Stoics emphasize the importance of relationships and community in the pursuit of wisdom and virtue. Isolating someone or constantly isolating oneself goes against this philosophy, as it undermines human connection and the search for authenticity through relationships. Instead of isolating oneself, the Stoics advocate for learning from others, seeking wisdom in community, and developing relationships based on virtue and mutual respect. 11th, constant victimization. When someone repeatedly presents themselves as a victim and seeks sympathy or attention through tragic stories or problematic situations, this can be a manipulative tactic. It is important to pay attention to how often they resort to victimization to get what they want. Constant victimization can take various forms, such as telling exaggerated stories about personal hardships, dramatizing situations to gain compassion, or playing the victim even when it is not justified. This manipulative tactic can be used to gain emotional support, favors, or even to evade responsibility for their actions. From a Stoic perspective, constant victimization goes against the principle of taking responsibility for our own lives and actions. The Stoics emphasize the importance of living with virtue and being masters of our destiny. Presenting oneself constantly as a victim can be a way to evade that responsibility and seek indulgence from others. If you notice someone who constantly resorts to victimization, it is important to be cautious and consider whether they are genuinely going through difficult situations or if they are using this tactic to manipulate. This does not mean you should be insensitive to someone's genuine problems, but being alert to constant victimization will help you discern between legitimate situations and manipulative tactics. 12th, lack of responsibility. The inability or refusal of a person to take responsibility for their actions is an important indicator when identifying someone potentially dangerous. This behavior can manifest in various ways and is often related to a lack of integrity and personal accountability. When someone shows a lack of responsibility, they tend to constantly blame other individuals or circumstances for the mistakes they make and are unwilling to acknowledge their own errors or take steps to correct them. This lack of responsibility can be frustrating for those around that person and can result in a destructive dynamic in relationships. The lack of responsibility can also indicate a lack of integrity, as a person who does not take responsibility for their actions may lack the honesty and sincerity necessary to maintain healthy and respectful relationships. Moreover, it can lead to situations where people feel manipulated or used due to this constant refusal to admit mistakes. 13. Disdain for others. When someone shows constant disdain or contempt for the people around them, it is a clear sign of a lack of respect and consideration for the feelings and dignity of others. This behavior can be detrimental both to personal relationships and to the environment as a whole, as it creates a toxic atmosphere. Constant disdain can manifest in various ways, such as the use of hurtful comments, constant mocking, destructive criticism, or a condescending attitude toward others. These actions undermine the self-esteem and confidence of those who are the objects of disdain and can also create a hostile and unhealthy environment in which no one feels valued or respected. 14th, lack of fulfillment of promises and commitments. When someone promises to do something or commits to fulfilling certain responsibilities and then constantly fails to do so, this can erode trust and credibility in that person. This lack of integrity and reliability can have a significant impact on personal and professional relationships, creating frustration, disappointment, and resentment in those who depend on the person to keep their promises. Additionally, it can generate an atmosphere of uncertainty and distrust, making it difficult to maintain a healthy and stable relationship. It is important to consider that everyone can make mistakes occasionally or face unforeseen circumstances that prevent them from fulfilling a promise or commitment. However, when this lack of fulfillment becomes a constant pattern and there is no valid reason behind it, it may indicate that you are dealing with someone who does not value the importance of their word and reliability in relationships. Therefore, the lack of fulfillment of promises and commitments can be a red flag for assessing the reliability and integrity of the person in question, and considering how this lack of fulfillment could affect your own safety and well-being in the relationship. 15th, vengeful behavior. When someone has a history of seeking revenge or retaliating when they feel hurt or contradicted, this may indicate a lack of healthy skills to manage conflicts and resolve problems constructively. Revenge and retaliation can take many forms, from harm directed at the person perceived as the source of the conflict to defamation, gossip, or even malicious legal actions. These behaviors not only perpetuate the cycle of conflict, but can also have serious consequences for all parties involved. Vengeful behavior shows an inability to deal with negative emotions in a mature and constructive manner. Instead of seeking peaceful solutions and mutual agreements, the person opts for retaliation as a form of personal satisfaction or to inflict pain on others. This lack of ability to handle conflicts can create a toxic environment in relationships and put your emotional well-being at risk, and in some cases, even your physical safety. When you identify a pattern of vengeful behavior in someone, it's important to consider how this tendency could affect you and those around you. It may be necessary to set clear boundaries and seek ways to protect your own safety and well-being in the relationship, especially if retaliation and revenge are a habitual response to disagreements or conflicts. In concluding our journey of discovery of the 15 signs to identify a dangerous person in your life, it is essential to emphasize the importance of recognizing these signs and taking steps to distance yourself from these dangerous individuals. Your emotional and physical safety are treasures that deserve protection. By identifying these signs, you are taking a brave step toward healthier and more positive relationships. Remember that your peace of mind is invaluable, and there is nothing wrong with choosing to distance yourself from people who pose a threat to your safety and well-being. Trust your instincts. Often, our sixth sense warns us when something is wrong. If something feels off, it's important to pay attention to those feelings and act accordingly. Don't be afraid to seek healthier relationships, because you deserve relationships based on respect, trust, and empathy. Don't settle for less than that. By recognizing these signs and distancing yourself from dangerous people, you are taking steps to care for yourself and build a more positive future. Your safety and well-being are in your hands, and you have the power to choose the path you desire. Therefore, move forward with confidence, knowing that you are capable of identifying and avoiding dangerous people in your life, relationships that uplift you, that help you grow, and that bring you peace and happiness. You deserve no less than that. I am eager to hear your stories of triumph. So subscribe, turn on notifications, and leave a comment below. Share your journey, your victories, and even your struggles. If you don't know what to comment, just write. I choose my destiny to show that you have overcome our session. Your interaction feeds this community, guiding us toward wisdom and, above all, toward the art of turning every challenge into an opportunity. If you want to support us financially, consider becoming a channel member, link in the pinned comment. You can also find the link to my ebook in the comments below. I leave you 2 more videos here for you to continue learning for your personal development. Thank you and see you next time.